So Hillary Clinton 2.0 is something I discovered. In case you didn't know, not a Yankee, so not really familiar with the not big American politicians that nobody's heard of, except
All
if you
right,
live
so
in their
this
state.
isn't the cloning of Hillary Clinton 2.0.
Well, I don't know. It's pretty close.
Is she as strangely attractive as young Hillary Clinton, according to Carl?
No. This is a lady called Nikki Haley, who I was not familiar with. I'd heard the name, didn't really care. Why should I?
I think
And-
I've heard the name before.
We're going to get into her campaign from like a purely outside perspective, which I've not been impressed by. We'll start off just by mentioning there's a 9 to 5 job in Swindon if you want it. That's the software engineer / web developer. I think it's midnight Sunday.
Swindon
applications.
recently voted by its people 8th worst place to live in the UK.
I did see that article.
Checks out.
Yeah, so if you'd like to come and join there. As you can come see if you can apply for the job. If you can't do it, don't apply. Simple as. We'll go to the GOP primary polls, because this is what this is all about, of course. Who's going to win? Probably Trump. I don't know why everyone's playing this game. Like, ooh, Greg Abbott. No, it's not happening.
Well, it's
Like-
it's trying to draw division within the GOP.
Yeah, you got Ron DeSantis. Could put up a fight if he wants, but I'm not.
Sorry, who?
What?
Ron DeSantis.
DeSando de Lando.
Sanctimonious.
No, I'm not making fun of him. I just can't speak. They might have a cajustle, but Nikki Haley has now thrown her hat in the ring with a whole 3%. Cool.
Ooh,
Cool.
exciting.
Big exciting. Well, we'll go to her. What's she about?
What various flavors of rhino do you fancy today?
Well, when I go and look it up, I immediately find stuff like this of her talking about how, as a brown girl growing up in a black and white world,
Oh wow, real conservative.
freedom.
American values.
I'm Kamala
Embodied.
Harris, but Republican.
Are we going to get the
That's the
tick
vibe I
marks
get.
like Kamala Harris that Carl shared ages ago? We're going to get the tick marks.
Punjabi woman president.
Question mark?
Yeah, the team's actually going to do that as well. And we'll go to the next one. Okay, it's a weird statement, but there's more of these. I mean, this one here is "May the best woman win," which just is literally Hillary Clinton. Like, she actually gave that speech.
And then, all kidding aside,
Yeah, and then 15 seconds later, all kidding aside, I'm not about identity politics. Yeah, okay.
but I will keep saying the slogans for nice, clippable moments.
And I could, you could forgive a couple of gaffes. Gaffes as in, like, buying into leftist ideology. Which is not really.
I mean, the
that cringe.
GOP, for the most part, is an incredibly unremarkable party.
And then I got to, like, the history, and people have pointed out apparently she's a WEF graduate.
Oh,
There you are.
I mean, an actual graduate.
There
Oh,
you
okay. Not just somebody that's got a web page because the WEF does that for everyone.
No, it's like, no, you actually worked with us. Because, of course, I believe she was, what was it, the US ambassador to the UN for a while.
Oh, she was a young global leader as well. Okay, so
Ye-
2004 to present, and that was, 2011 young global leader, so that's 7 years within that. And, the World Economic Forum,
I mean, I know this is obviously, you can see the meme there, just being like, liar, Baxter. Yeah, it's obviously propaganda, but at the same time, it's not untrue. You worked with the WEF, so it's like, great, okay.
you've grown up within whatever ideology that they're pushing,
that
which
could
is
all
just
be,
globalism.
that could all be just shills. Just shills as to why Nikki Haley is a bad woman. Could be. Could
Okay.
be. Her own campaign could also be a shill as to why she's a bad
Perhaps this is just 4D chess being played right here.
This is some thing here in which they write that if you're going to turn up, you need to have a COVID vaccine to her event. It's like, what?
And the top line there, well, after the Ask a Woman leadership lessons, is too brown, too female, too conservative. I'm failing to see where the conservatism or anything remotely right-wing starts.
Your opening line is brown woman. Okay.
Is she
This-
applying for Supreme Court?
But this is what we're. Well, I suppose if you do want a job in today's economy,
Yeah, I suppose so.
I too am a brown woman. They opening line, Hillary Clinton style. I am this thing, Gibbs. Right. Okay. Very convincing. But then the more concerning part, obviously, being you need COVID vaccination status and a valid photo identification for entry. So that WEF stuff's probably not just nothing. There's Trumpist propaganda about this, but it kind of rings true as well. Like, at the photos, there's some guy here who's obviously pro-Trump, who's like, look at the difference in sports between Nikki Haley and MAGA. On the left, you'll see sports coats, button-up vests, country club Republicans. Whereas on the right, you'll see normies. Just normal people.
Normal guys with all their baseball caps on.
Do you have a 40 quid button-up vest to wear?
I do love that even before the MAGA hat thing, the kind of uniform of rural America is baseball cap.
Kind of.
I respect it.
But maybe. It's It's certainly true about the whole blazer button-up cardigans thing. So I can't stand cardigans.
Yeah, these people have just finished at a board meeting.
It's like if I wear the thing I'm told to, then I'm important. It's like, okay, right. We'll get to the next thing here though, because Nikki Haley's own words. That's more important, and
Yeah.
we'll listen to that. Jack Posobiec put out this thing, which went huge, and this has been the I think most viewed thing regarding her own campaign, which is not great for her, I imagine. But then again, it's her own words, so maybe it's convincing. She argues that what is America first is funding Ukraine. That's the sole thing that defines America first. Not necessarily Ukraine either, of course. It could be anything.
America was founded on globalist liberal values, God damn it.
Well, the argument goes, as it did in 2003, we're going to fight them over there so we don't have to fight them over here. That's purely America first.
Because the
Sending money
US
abroad.
is at constant threat of invasion from foreign powers.
Yes, the Republic of Chad has been awful quiet recently. Too quiet, some neocons say.
I feel
snort 'em
a
out.
shift in the winds.
Just country you've not heard of, can't find on map. They're the Troyish danger to American soil,
What-
not you know,
I am
the problem in
getting
Mexico.
big Yellowstone meme vibes.
Yeah, we're gonna get there. We'll listen to her own words though. I don't want to smear her, so let's listen to that.
We have the backs of our friends, and we hold our enemies to account. And, whether it's Ukraine or Israel, we take care of them because it's about freedom. And we can never stop fighting for freedom.
There is that populist strain and a lot of MAGA that wants the Ukraine gravy train, financially and otherwise, to stop. And even there's a growing Republican not consensus, but growing Republican support to say, wait a minute, checks and balances here. What are we doing giving all this money to Ukraine? Where do you come down on the money, on the military, whether it be fighter jets, X, Y, and Z?
Biden was slow to the take. He should have given Ukraine what they needed right when this started, and we'd be in a totally different place right now. This isn't a war about Ukraine. This is a war about freedom. And I don't think we need to put troops on the ground. I don't think we need to write them blank checks. But they have the passion to fight for their own freedom. Give them the ammunition to do it. Get with our NATO allies and say, hey, we're not the only ones. You've got to do it too. And let them win this fight. But I'll tell you what, if they win this fight, you won't hear anything from Russia, China, or Iran. If they lose this fight, Russia's not going to stop at Ukraine. They're going to go into Poland and the Baltics, and we've got a
Yep.
world war on our hands.
Of course.
We have to make sure we send a message to every enemy that if you mess with our friends, you're messing with us, and you don't want to do that.
And that, therefore, is America first, in essence.
It is
what
taking
you're
care of
saying.
America because we're preventing wars.
Okay. So that's the most out and out neocon I've heard anybody sound in a while.
It's very Bush Obama era.
Oh, very much so. It's the if there's injustice anywhere, there is injustice everywhere.
Therefore, we must bomb Bolivia.
I mean,
Where is Bolivia? I don't know.
once again,
The unstoppable force of Bolivia is going to attack America.
as much as James Gunn seems to be a complete scumbag, there is a fantastic line from Peacemaker in The Suicide Squad where he says, "I love peace so much, and I don't care how many women and children I have to kill to get it." That is that mentality. Oh, say can you?
Ah, he's got a good point. No, he doesn't. I think everyone is vaccinated against that sort of Bush era. We're fighting for freedom kind of narrative. Barack Obama's like, well, we have to fund Libyan rebels. Could have been any of them. For freedom. What do you mean they're all pledging their allegiance to Allah? So they pledge allegiance to the U.S. Constitution. Yeah, nah. I'm very bored.
What do you
of
mean we
that
gave
argument.
Liberia the exact US Constitution? What do you mean they started enslaving each other immediately?
There's just delusions about the whole world. It's essentially American patriot rebels who are just destined to become the new 1776 if we just give them money.
That's right, they're all just flag-waving MAGA enthusiasts.
Yeah, I'm bored, and I'm also bored of again. I don't want to get into the Ukrainian conflicts. It's just cancer every time. But just the endless stupid argument you hear of, and let's say the Russians conquer Ukraine and then they invade Moldova. Next, they're going to invade Poland because it's Hitler all over again. Because everything is Hitler all over again. No, they're not going to invade a NATO neighbor. Look, I don't get this. Simultaneously, can't take on Ukraine, but also is going to invade all of Europe. I mean, like Red War syndrome all over again. It's just, stop. Just stop, please.
This is just like the Cold War all over again.
It's just I support Ukraine if you want. Send them money. Argue for that. You know, Putin got to die because of this. Whatever. I'm so bored of Yankee across the earth is like, yeah, they're going to invade America tomorrow if they do.
And Britain
needs to
goes
end.
every single time. Britain goes, you know what? You're right. Let's join in.
I just it needs to end. The I don't know where things are. A conservative. That's enough.
Earth
Also,
may revolve around the sun, but Earth also revolves around America.
I am also, Glenn Greenwald pointed out that speech made no goddamn sense, even the Ukrainian conflict, where she's like, Biden didn't do enough to give to Ukraine exactly what they needed.
Biden was far too moderate on this issue.
Glenn Greenwald points out that he gave them $60 billion in the first 6 months, which is more than the entire Russian budget for war. So the next 6 months, that's even more.
I mean, think about how many black Americans could have got reparations with that money.
I don't know, but I mean, the Russians.
That's going to be her next talking point.
The Russians could have had another 2 armies, like their entire military budget.
I'm sorry. I just love the idea that this is the new face of republicanism. She's going to go, well, we need to give more money to Ukraine, and once we've finally taken care of that Putin problem, we can finally get reparations sorted out.
So they we'll go to the next thing as well, which is her campaign being like, I'm going to shake up Washington. And there's something about all these posts I've seen where I'm just like, this is so uninspiring, in the slightest. You are Washington. What are you talking about? So what's your number one issue? I'm a brown woman and we should give money to Ukraine. That's the status
Here's my
quo.
plan to clear out the deep state.
Yeah, we'll go to the next one as well, because didn't she decide to come out and say that our politicians are past their prime because they're all basically old men. It's like, yeah, they are all old men. Yeah, that's true.
I mean, that's a fair point.
It is annoying to see no one even slightly young near the levers of power in the United States. I'm sick of people having to worry about the president being too dementia-ridden this time round. That is true. I'll give her that. This is where the story kind of takes a bit of a left turn, though, because this is where I gave up with Nikki Haley. I think most people did as well by the polling. And we instead turned to CNN for more insightful discussion, such as, when is a woman past her prime? From Don Lemon.
Don Lemon just going, I don't know, she do be hanging, though.
I really, he put his mouth in it. For this one, he was just like, silly right-wing woman. Don't you know women are past their prime when they're your age?
Is he just calling her haggard? Is that what he's doing?
Didn't seem to realise where he was.
Is he grieving? And he's surrounded by 2 women who are probably in their 30s and 40s.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
You'll notice.
Oh, no.
He notes how much he messed up with the people in the room as he starts speaking. And let's listen to that, I suppose.
This whole talk about age makes me uncomfortable. I think it's the wrong road to go down. She says people, politicians or something are not in their prime. Nikki Haley isn't in her prime. Sorry. When a woman is considered to be in her prime in her 20s and 30s and maybe 40s.
What are you talking? Wait.
That's not according to me.
Prime for what?
It depends. I mean, it's just like prime. If you look it up, if you Google when is a woman in her prime, it'll say 20s, 30s, and 40s. I don't necessarily.
40s. Oh, I got another.
I'm not saying
decade.
I agree with that. So I think she has to be careful about saying that politicians aren't in their prime.
You need to qualify. Are you talking about prime for like childbearing, or are you talking about prime for being president?
What the facts are. Google it. Everybody at home. When is a woman in her prime? It says 20s, 30s, and 40s. And I'm just saying Nikki Haley should be careful about saying that politicians are not in their prime and they need to be in their prime when they serve, because she wouldn't be in her prime according to
Google
or whatever it is.
He tried to get the catty gay attitude started, and it just bombed.
Immediately bombed. It's not even a bad argument for him, though, which is just, it's a terrible argument, but...
Well, he didn't read the room, but I get what he was trying to say.
But it's not about going to be like... What even was he trying to argue?
He was trying.
No, it was bad. It was terrible. What am I talking about?
He was trying to be like, well, she's a right-winger. Right-wingers have these antiquated ideas of what being in the prime of a woman is. But then he also tries to defer to Google as well and tries to use it as a backhanded compliment her way.
But if you take it literally, he's saying, don't worry about all the men running who are so old. We have to worry about which one has the most dementia, because you can't birth children.
He goes, because we might have 40-year-old women in charge. I mean, fair fear.
I'd rather have a dementia-ridden old man than one of them damn women that can't have kids. All right, done.
Not the audience for it. Not the audience.
It's just, do you think before you speak, man?
I mean, it's Don Lemon, so no.
No, it's just, evidently not. We'll go to the links because Don Eggman became a really quick meme.
That's great.
Don't have any eggs. I mean, this guy's brain doesn't work, but you don't have any eggs. So there's that. convincing
Have you
case.
got Don Lemon's dilemma is empty egg carton up here or down there? That's what he's worried about.
I don't know. But what does CNN do to try and save their fellow hosts because they all look retarded? Well, sorry, no, this is Fox News actually. Who decided to fact check Don Lemon. They were like, let's
really?
let's see if he's true. I don't know who any of these people are, but they decided to fact check it by sitting around and asking ChatGPT for their own opinions.
Is ChatGPT the new objective commenter on all subjects?
No, it's the NPC update meme.
Oh, yeah.
ChatGPT is the update. These people in real time sat there and went, ChatGPT, what is my opinion? And ChatGPT gave their opinion. Let's play it.
Then he says, just Google it.
Yeah.
Right. So we asked Chatbot.
Yeah,
Like, well, what do you say?
When's a woman in her prime?
We asked
When's a woman in her
Chatbot,
prime?
and this is the answer. This is why people aren't going to like Chatbot. As an AI language model, it's not appropriate to make any assumptions or generalize about individuals based on their gender. It is important to recognize that every person is unique. And the concept of a prime can vary greatly based on personal factors such as
their
physical
children
health,
age.
lifestyle goals, and aspirations.
I've heard of it happening.
It is just obvious. NPC response of, no, women don't have a prime, really. Women are endless, timeless, formless. Should we ask ChatGPT what it thinks of men? 25 to 40 blokes. There you are. There's your prime.
And
No
you know,
sugar-coated nonsense.
as a 26-year-old, I will accept this. I've still got another 14 good years.
But everyone
You're
knows
not
that-
even in your prime. Oh, wait, where are you?
Nobody knows my age. Not even myself, actually.
To be fair, you
I do
didn't
have
know
to
what
sit and calculate
you
it
didn't know what
sometimes.
day it is. You didn't
Yeah.
know what day tomorrow is. I'm not shocked that you don't know what age you are.
don't
I
know.
have. It does make me.
I've gone full Joe Biden. I don't even know where I am.
I really do despair for my generation, to be fair, because I do often see people around my age forgetting what age they are.
But as you can see, ChatGPT, when you ask it, how old's a man in his prime? 25 to 40. Now bugger
Boom.
off. You ask it, when's a woman in her prime? Well, don't worry, ladies. There's no prime for you. Really, you can do anything at
Age
any
is just
age.
a number.
Oh, shut up.
Have you seen on YouTube? There's an advert that's hilarious to me that starts off with an old woman looking straight into the camera and going, "Age is just a number," and then it immediately goes, "As you get older, your chances of breaking bones might increase as your bones get more brittle." It's like,
What? A man comes out with a sledgehammer and just hits her with one, breaking every bone.
tell that to the hammer, bam.
But I mean, there's my argument, which is leftists actually apparently now can get their opinions in real time from the AI. Because it's beautiful as well, because it is obviously the case that the leftist AI, the AI on drugs over here, is able to do the leftist thing of when it's women, timeless, formless, beautiful. When it's men, go on with your work, you f***ing losers. Someone's got to pay for my handbags.
I mean, I think you raise a good point here because I find it more spectacular that they don't have to refer to something like ChatGPT to be able to update their thinking in real time. There's an amazing way that the leftist thought can work in lockstep without anybody really having to say it explicitly. They can all have this amazing ability, apart from Don Lemon, to read the room and just know what's not allowed anymore.
But not Donny Boy. Anyway, this whole Nikki Haley situation reminded me of this campaign. Some people have seen, people listening. The local chap here sat on his pickup truck with his Love is Love sticker on the pickup truck, his LGBT pussy hat, and his Antifa logo branded shirt. And this is a reference to Yellowstone memes. I don't know what Yellowstone is because I'm not a Yankee boomer, so I don't.
It is a television show set in the Yellowstone area of America. I have not watched it. I've heard of it, and a few years ago I did hear some people say, "Oh my god, it's based," and then I immediately thought it's a mainstream television show.
Good luck.
Probably not.
But it's about rural life in America. Actually pays, I think it's one of the one shows in the United States that pays any lip service to, hang on, there actually is a world beyond LA. So
I mean, that's nice at least.
that's a thing. But then what some people have noticed, and Jack has, and in this meme, if we go forward to the next one, is that a lot of the show and a lot of things in media use the rural aesthetics, the conservative aesthetics, and then we'll just insert leftist dogma into it. And it's a good meme format, and I hope it grows. The example here is, quote, "What's going on in the bedroom of consenting adults is between me and my wife's boyfriend." Play some guitar in the background, some country music.
It's a great example of the manipulation of media because a lot of people sadly do get their perception of reality through the TV shows and other such media they consume. I don't think it's supposed to be an accurate representation of what actual rural Americans are like. I've heard a number of people complaining about the meme because they think it demonizes actual rural Americans who don't believe these sorts of things. But that's why it's
But that's-
important to
that's
point
the
out
point.
the aesthetic
Is that-
is being used.
Yeah, the raw world doesn't match the nonsense you'll find on TV quite often. We go to the next one. There's some more of these. The papers are signed, Beth. I'm renaming the ranch after George Floyd. If you go to the next one, no human being is illegal, son. Give him a job. Give him a vote. That's what I say. Ronald Reagan would have wanted it that way.
To be fair, that's true. Ronald Reagan did sign in massive amnesty for illegal immigrants.
And he was wrong.
Yes,
He's demonstrably
he
wrong.
was.
Then we get the next one. There's more of that. There's some like rebounds of that meme. Only two things come from Yellowstone: steers and queers, and I ain't got no horns, boy.
Brokeback Yellowstone.
I don't know where that one's going. There's more of that, because if you get the next one, someone pointing out the Yellowstone memes are so funny because they describe real-world problem that most people don't notice, mixing conservative aesthetics with liberal values. A lot of boomers go along with mass immigration, racial justice, etc. If you sprinkle some tough talk images on top of it.
Yeah, have you seen that? I saw there was that Sylvester Stallone show that I think the same creator is in charge of, and it's got a scene where a black guy goes.
We're gonna
from...
get to that,
Oh,
yeah.
okay, all right, okay.
Because I mean, I don't really get the reference because Yellowstone, live in England, not too much of a race mixing going on there. But we'll go to the UK version of this, which I saw people posting, which is Peaky Blinders. I would rather die than have my wife's black son be misgendered in 1920s England. I don't remember that scene specifically.
I have seen a few clips from Peaky Blinders that did really put me off it, where they go out of their way to put Oswald Mosley in the show, and
Yeah.
then have all of the heroic characters that you're supposed to like, who are all a bunch of murderous criminals, but at least you know they're not fascists.
They're
That's how
actually-
you know that you root for them.
Well, he's a socialist, isn't he? Officially. And so that's how you know he's a good guy.
What? Him?
Yeah, Thomas
Oh.
Shelby becomes a Labour MP.
course.
If you get the next one here, we have another example. Oi, mate, we may be violent gangsters, but racism is just not on. Yeah?
I mean, that is
That is
the
a real
vibe.
scene. I've seen
Yeah, no, that's the thing. I've seen that scene where they walk in, like Oswald Mosley's just in a pub, and they're all just sort of like, "Oh, you're that bloody fascist bloke, aren't you?" Then,
Yeah. Well, you don't know anything about fascism. This is really weird.
yeah, it's
Like,
really
you
cringe.
guys literally just beat people up and sell, like, drugs.
But at least I'm not racist.
Yeah, it also happens a couple of times in the earlier parts of the show where they're just like, don't worry, we're a multi-racial group of people in 1920s England.
Okay,
You're
all right.
I don't care if you're multiracial, you're a bunch of thugs.
I mean, this is it's also going off of the that Doctor Who revisionist history when they go to
Next link, please.
Oh,
You called it.
Jesus Christ! I'm reading your mind as we're going through this segment.
This companion here turns up and says that there's a lot of more black people in 1800s England than on the movies, aren't there, Odd Doctor? And Doctor says, Jesus was black. History is a whitewash. Why? But the Yellowstone meme is perfect for this, and I want to see more of it because it's a good-ass meme. We'll just end it off with the last point here, being, as Jack
This
Posobiec
is the
links.
scene that I was talking about.
Yeah, I hate this scene. This
Oh, it's
stupid show
awful.
here. So this like 20-something black guy goes into a dealership, tries to buy a really expensive car. Dealer turns him down because he's like, well, it must be drug money. And then tells white old man. White old man comes back and physically assaults the dealer, saying he's racist because he doesn't believe that the 20-something black man has hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Suggesting to me that this dealer was in fact correct to distrust everything going on with these people.
But not only that, it's also the difference of, like, man in his 60s might have money for rich car because that's when you get all your money together, you know, the retiring
Yep.
age. Whereas man in his 20s who turns up and wants sports car, yeah, no, it gives me Albanian vibes. If you're in your 20s and you've got hundreds of thousands of dollars sitting around. But no, it was because he's black and he's white.
And judging by the aesthetic,
Sylvester Stallone, not white.
it seems to be set in the 70s as well.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they had the same sort of finance schemes for fancy cars that we've got nowadays.
But script aside, because remember, this is all just fantasy in someone's head, so the reasons could be whatever you want, regardless of the obvious actual reasons. But the argument here being that, don't you believe that racism is bad? Yes. The whole world's on that train in the West. The rest of the world's not, but we are. And yet, it's endlessly more propaganda of tough guy, but he also thinks racism's bad. Kill me. I don't want to live with this anymore. This is not entertainment.
It is very annoying.
If you appreciated that segment from the podcast The Lotus Eaters, you can go to lotuseaters.com to get access to all the premium content that's on the site, such as the Our Cyberpunk Dystopia streams. And if you want to follow what else we're putting out, you can follow on Getter at lotuseaters_com on Getter. Thank you and goodbye.